What is up, everyone? It's Wednesday, May 27th. Hope you're having a great day so far. Hope you had a great Tuesday as well, recovering from the weekend. Let's talk about the workout really quick. Gonna have some fun today. We're gonna start with our warm-up. Let's catch a 400-meter run to start. Hopefully the weather holds up for you, and if so, should be pretty easy pace. Then we're gonna hit our dynamic range of motion. Again, if you're still a little sore from Murph up in the chest and in the biceps, my chest is a little tender today. Biceps are kind of sore. Really make sure on this dynamic range that you're working those joints that are stiff, and you can work through some of that soreness by getting bigger and bigger ranges as you go through it. Just keep that in mind when you're doing that. Maybe extend it out just a little bit to get some blood pumping and flowing in those areas. Once we get done with our dynamic range of motion, we're going to hit 3 rounds of 10 dumbbell or kettlebell snatches. That's each side. So we'll hit the ground and come up over the top on each side. The goal here is not necessarily to blow through them fast, but it's to get the hips opening, that lower back loaded just a little bit, and then our shoulder and elbow joints moving. Once we get done with the 10 dumbbell snatches on each side, we're going to grab 10 dumbbell or kettlebell thrusters on each side. Again, the same idea here. Loading the knee, loading the hip, loading the elbow and the shoulder, driving up over the top to get some action and some movement in that to work out some soreness and just get them prepped for the next part. And then we're going to do 10 laying toes to the dumbbell or the kettlebell. A little different modification on straight leg sit-ups here. We'll hold the dumbbell or the kettlebell up over the top, and you bring your toes to the dumbbell. If you need to get a slight bend into them, go ahead. But bring them up as high as you can. Make sure you're holding on good to the dumbbell so that it doesn't push back. We're going to get 3 rounds of that. When we finish up, we have a 1 mile single arm farmer's carry for time. Guys, the goal here today is to load a weight that you're going to have to switch off pretty consistently. If you don't have a heavy weight, what you would consider a heavy kettlebell or a dumbbell, for me that would be like a 53-pound kettlebell for a mile. You just got to keep switching, right? And that's kind of the goal here. Not so heavy that you're probably going to have to break a whole bunch, because as you're switching, you can probably fight off the breaking, okay, until you just maybe can't hold it anymore or you can't stand it. So the goal here is to try to do it and switching. So you do have a penalty for breaking, and the penalties are due when you get back if you get to them, and that adds onto your time. So as many times as you break, that'll equal 10 step-ups with your weight. So if you break 10 times, you got 100 step-ups. And whatever it takes to finish that plus the mile will be your total time. So, like I said, don't underweight yourself, because you want to actually get some work out of this where you're having to switch. If you have some really, really light, what you would consider light dumbbells, you might just hit it with both of them. And that way, if you have to stop, you know, it wasn't so easy that you didn't feel like you didn't get some work done. This should be difficult, put it that way. You're probably going to have to break. So even for myself, maybe we jump it up to a 70-pounder to make it that much more difficult, and maybe we have some work at the end. So just keep that in mind when you're loading this. On the step-ups, you'll hold your kettlebell up on your back or your shoulder, or the dumbbell up on your shoulders. I would recommend that as the best way to do this. And then just step up on whatever size box you're comfortable with for as many times as is required for your breaks. Then once we get done with that, try to hit the HomeWOD today. I promise it'll start doing you some good. If not, just try to get in some active stretching or some passive stretching. That's where you just kind of hold yourself for at least a few minutes throughout the day. Lots of complaints about tight backs, and that's from us sitting a little too often, too much right now. So utilize the stretching routines, hit some couch stretches throughout the day, and let's hope you have a great Wednesday.